Hi, I'm Gail and welcome back to Low Carb Recipe Ideas. Today we're going to make a delicious chicken entree, and it's chicken with Madeira sauce, and we're going to have asparagus and melted mozzarella cheese on top. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we have 4 chicken breasts, and what we need to do, these ones are fairly flat, but they're in the breast part it's quite thick. So I put plastic on the bottom, and I'm going to put a sheet of plastic on top, saran wrap, and I'm just going to use my mallet and I'm going to hammer to thin it out. And I'll do this to all 4 of them. And the purpose of doing this is because we're going to be adding asparagus and mozzarella cheese, so this way we can flatten it all out and have a larger space to work with. So I'll continue and do all 4 of them. So I'm going to take 2 tablespoons of olive oil in a deep frying pan. And I'm picking a deep frying pan because I'm going to make the Madeira sauce in the same frying pan that I'm cooking my chicken with, so I might as well just use one pan instead of getting another pan. So we're just going to heat up the oil. I have it on high just to get it going, and then I'll turn it down. Now we're going to put each 4 pieces of chicken in here, and we're going to let it cook, and it's approximately 4 to 8 minutes on each side. It just depends. My frying pan actually isn't big enough, but we will make it work. So I have 4 fillets sprinkled with herb amare, 2 tablespoons of oil, and we're going to cook this up, and I'll flip it over and cook both sides. My chicken is cooked, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove them out of the frying pan, and I'm just going to put them in a container and put the cover on and keep them nice and warm. I'm going to have to probably warm them up later when we finally put everything together. But we're going to take them out of the frying pan, cover it, and then put that aside, and then we're going to start working on our Madeira sauce, which is absolutely delicious. I've removed my chicken, and what I have is little scrapings of some oil and chicken pieces and stuff in the bottom, and we're just going to leave that, and we're going to make our sauce. So the first thing we're going to do is we need 2 tablespoons of olive oil. We'll get that heated up, and then we are going to add 2 cups of sliced white mushrooms. Okay, we'll get them all in here. Just white mushrooms is what you need. So we are going to saute them for approximately 5 minutes. Now I like putting a lid on it, on the frying pan, because you get a lot of moisture from the mushrooms, and because we're only putting 2 tablespoons of oil in it, it seems to be a little slower process. So if I put the lid on it, that creates a little bit of moisture and it works a little bit better. So we'll just keep it on for a few minutes till we start getting some more solution, then I'll take the lid off and cook it for the 5 minutes. My mushrooms are sauteed. See, now there's more juice because there is a lot of water in mushrooms anyway. And you can use more than 2 cups of mushrooms. Just remember to add the carb count if you decide to add more mushrooms to your sauce. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a tablespoon of butter. Get that melted. Now I've turned my heat up because when I put everything together, everything needs to be boiling, get boiling, and then we will turn it down to a low boil, like a medium heat, and then just let it cook for approximately an hour, and it will thicken up, and it'll be absolutely a delicious sauce. And now I'm going to add in 2 cups of Madeira wine. This is what makes the sauce so delicious. You can also use sherry because it's very close to this kind of wine. Now we're going to add 2 cups of beef broth. Now usually beef broth is no carbs, so just check your labels to be safe. So 2 cups of beef broth and a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Now we're going to stir this up. We're going to turn it on high, get it bubbling. Once it's boiling, we can turn it down a little bit and then just let it be a little steady boil, a light boil. And it takes approximately an hour and 15 minutes to break down. It evaporates, and then it becomes a thick sauce. And it's absolutely delicious. So we'll work at this, and I'll be back when it's down to what it's supposed to be. In the meantime, I need to prepare my asparagus and get that going also. So this is what it basically looks like while it's cooking down to make it thickened. So you don't have to have it bubbling severely, but you can just do it in between. I just wanted you to see this. So far this is an hour, and the Madeira sauce has evaporated a lot of the juices, and it's gradually going to start getting thicker. This is what your Madeira sauce should look like. It's boiled right down, so now you have a thick mushroom sauce. And we'll just turn the burner off, set it aside, and we'll go to the next step. So I have a pot of water, half full, and I have washed my asparagus and I've cut them. And normally on my chicken I would put 2 on each, but mine is very, very thin asparagus. That's all I could get today. So I have 3 for each one, so I have 12. So I'm going to put a little bit of salt in the boiling water, and I am going to put the asparagus in, and I'll blanch them for approximately, got to get them in here. I guess I have them a little too long. I just didn't want to lose half of them, so we'll get them in here. There we go. So I'll put the timer on about 3 minutes. I don't want them mushy. They're quite thin, so 3 minutes probably will do the trick. And then we'll take them out. Okay, so they've been blanched for approximately 3 to 4 minutes. Now I'm going to take them out and I'm going to put them in ice water, and this stops them from cooking, and they won't become mushy if they sit too long. It keeps them nice. So I'm just going to let that sit, and then we will go to the next step of our recipe. So I've got my chicken cooked, my asparagus cooked. So now we're just going to lay it on a cookie sheet, and then we're going to take the asparagus and we're going to lay them on top. Now if they're bigger asparagus, I'd be just putting 2 on, but because they're quite thin, I'm going to line up 3. They don't have to be this long, but asparagus is delicious, so even if there's extra, it's still really good. So we're just going to lay them on top of each fillet of chicken. You can either use shredded mozzarella cheese or you can use sliced mozzarella cheese. Whatever I have in the house is what I use. So I'm going to put them on, and then we'll put them in the oven on broil. And keep an eye on them, and when they start, the cheese starts melting and they're a little bit brown, we will take them out. Okay, I've taken them out of the oven, and now I'm just going to put them on my serving plate. And you see the cheese just has a little bit of brown on it. It's just melted nicely. Now I have company tonight, so I'm going to be serving it this way. Lots of times I just put it on my own plate and then put everything on top. Oh, cheese is melting here. Okay, so the next step is we have our Madeira sauce that I had made earlier, and it's still nice and warm. So we will just put the mushroom Madeira sauce on top. It's absolutely delicious, guys. I hope you give it a try and get some feedback to me as to what you think of it. It's very, very delicious. So, there is my chicken breast with Madeira sauce and melted cheese and asparagus. I hope you enjoy it. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye now.